Hi, I'm Curtis and welcome to the show. I'm going to stop saying my show and say our show because I want this to be for all of us here in Marin and across the country. Behind me is one of the iconic sites in Marin County, the Mission San Rafael. I wanted to open the show here tonight because it's Easter Eve. It's also the eve of my mother's birthday. We lost Mom back in October. And there's still a huge heart in our family's, huge hole in our family's heart. Love you, Mama. On this episode, I'm gonna harvest some artichokes in my yard. I grew them, they're beautiful. Also gonna share a story of the first time I met Rosa Parks, Miss Rosa Parks. What a day. I'm also taking you to the beginning, to the basics of my start in television. I'll share that story when we get to my kitchen. In the meantime, enjoy that beautiful view. Give your mamas big old hugs and kisses, your daddies too. Remember, it's about spreading love. My mama did that, Rosa Parks did that, so does Meryl Streep in her work. I got a story about Meryl Streep coming up too. Oops. Let's get in here and harvest some. I'm gonna remove some of the foliage, some of the leaves. And I was at the market today, and I believe the organic artichokes about this size were like $3.99. Wow. This plant, it's been in the ground now. This is the second season. It cost me $1.50. And this is my fourth harvest from it. I love the large artichokes. However, I am crazy about these little ones. They are so tender. Oh, look at that. Now what I do, because this is a totally organic garden or pesticide-free garden, is I will take these and submerge them in a little bit of a bucket with some soapy water. Any critters that might be on the leaves will come out before I take them in to cook with them. Okay, I'm gonna harvest a few more, and we'll go inside and talk fresh fruits and vegetables. So as you can see, I've placed the artichokes that we harvested outside in a pot with a bit of soap and water, not too much, just enough so that if there's any little critters in there, they will run out of that soap. They'll come up and they'll spinach, pineapples, green onions, scallions, carambola, the star fruit, broccoli rapini, cabbage, broccolini, bananas, cauliflower, broccoli, tomatoes, asparagus, garlic, onions, potatoes, and jicama. We can make some beautiful dishes with this. Let's talk about how to buy them, how to store them, and one of my favorite things, how to cook with them. Let's take a seat. I shared a story with a young man that I'm hoping to become friends with as time goes on. He was talking about Porterdale, Georgia, which is right down the street from where I grew up, Conyers. In fact, Porterdale, it's like a stone's throw. I shared the story with him at the time I met Rosa Parks. And, I still get goosebumps thinking about that. My career has been, sometimes I go, did I really meet this person or am I dreaming I did it? No, I really met Rosa Parks. In fact, on a couple of occasions. I was doing a television show down in Atlanta, Georgia, and she happened to be a guest that day. And I got a chance to spend some time with her. And, it's like, here I am speaking to history, right? I mean, this is American world history, talking to her, and she just made me feel so cared for, and I said something to her. I said, so what, how, it's just like, you're thinking, how do you ask this living legend, living history a question? And she said, and it's like, she says, You'd be surprised. It's what you do sometimes when you just sit down. I'm like, wow. You know, it's like sometimes you get more done by slowing down. All right, let's get to work here. And I'll share more stories. If you enjoy these stories, I'll tell them. Today, I want to go back to my basics. How I started in this business. You know, and I think I owe a big thank you to Meryl Streep. Back in the 80s, when the incredible actor Meryl Streep was touting the ill effects of LR on fresh fruits and vegetables, on apples in particular, you know, it dawned on me that this incredible human being had a platform because of who she was, because of the work she did. And, you know, when she spoke, it's like that old saying, when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Meryl Streep talks, folks listen. So it said, okay, Curtis Aikens, if you want to be an advocate for reading and for education, you've got to be somebody so people will listen to you. So, you know, I set about making myself a quote unquote celebrity. So people would listen to me, and it worked. Doing television shows throughout the Southeast. And then I got a chance to work with ABC's home show down in Los Angeles. And what I would do in those days, because Joe Carcione had passed away, and there was a void in this business where people gave great tips, common sense tips on how to buy and how to store fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, of course, I'm no Joe Carcione, so I thought I've got to do a little something different. I had this natural affinity to putting together recipes. I could look at foods and put them together. So I said, okay, I'm going to build my name on how to buy, how to store the nutritional content, and then how to prepare these gorgeous fruits, vegetables, all these wonderful items, legumes and mushrooms, fungi, all those things. So, you know, that started to catch on. So I thought today we'd do that. We'd talk about my 5 tips to buying fresh fruits and vegetables. The first one is to look at it. Make sure the produce looks good. Now, I've got bananas here, beautiful bananas, and they look good, so I inspect the tops, the bottoms, look all the way around. When buying bananas, what I want you to look for, there should not be any soft spots, okay? And the tips, they call these green tips. So that's the eyes, you look at them, right? Okay? The next thing is touch, which we just demonstrated. So I'm going to take a different produce item for each one of the tips, right? So let's say a potato. How should a potato feel? Okay. Again, the touch is nice and firm, right? All right. Also, and this is a term you hear me say a lot, it should be heavy for its size. Again, when things, it looks dense, right? However, if it's light, that means it has started to shrivel up, dry out. Okay. That's what I mean by should be heavy for its size. Oranges, all the citrus items, lemons, limes should be really heavy for the size they are, okay? So that's look at it, touch it, right? What's next? Smell it. Right, smell it. You go, what? Joe Carcione used to say, at the tip of your nose, Curtis, that's one of your best guides, right? If it don't smell peachy, it ain't gonna taste peachy. Now that's Curtis Aikens saying, not a Joe, okay? Now, so this beautiful pineapple, right? That smells like Hawaii right there. Aloha. Don't be afraid to smell produce when you're in the grocery stores, okay? Wow, I just love that smell of pineapple. And when we get to pineapples, I'll give you more tips on that, right? So look at it, touch it, smell it, right? The fourth one is buy what's in season. How do you know what's in season? A lot of times, once you walk into the grocery store in the produce section, the item that is most abundant, right? That's what's in season. Look for it. You know, it's springtime, so asparagus is starting to jump up. Beautiful asparagus. Before all the onslaught of all the incredible refrigeration, springtime is when you got the asparagus. And then, of course, when we start bringing things in from the southern hemisphere, we get asparagus year round. Right now, oh my goodness, in my town in Northern California, there's incredible prices on asparagus. Now this is what, April 3rd? Yeah, April 3rd. Spring is here, right? Things have sprung up. The asparagus is absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, so that was 4 of them, right? Look at it, feel it, smell it, So we told you about fruits, how they smell, right? Now, when it comes to vegetables, okay, you smell and go, what is he sniffing? There should be a freshness about it. Now, these are things I want you to work on. When you go to the grocery store, put your nose in and work. If this thing was starting to pass its peak, vegetables give off a bit of a sour aroma, and you will know it, right? So those 4 tips, if you look at it, you touch it, asparagus is still firm, heavy for its size, right? You smell it. This smells like spring, nice and fresh. Brings on a ring, right? So those really work. And that feel is very, very important. So what's the 5th key? I call them my 5 keys. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, right? Cinco, cinco, yeah. Cinco de Mayo. Okay, the 5th tip is get to know your produce person. He or she or he, they can let you know what's good, what's bad, how long an item has been in the store. Okay? You feel me? Feel me. Get to know those produce people. When you go to your local grocery store or farmer's market, talk to them. Farmer's market is even better because you can talk to the farmer that raised that asparagus or that broccoli or that broccolini or that broccoli rabe and find out from her, what she does. Is she totally organic? Is she low sustainable? All these are produce terms, fresh food terms that I hope I can teach you about. Okay? All right. What should we do next? Should we take each individual item or should we cook something? All right. Artichokes. Along with asparagus, I call these my California vegetables because I had never had them till I moved west. Now, these I grew, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Nice full-size globe artichoke and the long stem, which you're seeing a lot of those in grocery stores now at a premium price. This stem is an extension of the heart, or should I say, the heart of the artichoke is the culmination of the stem. All of this is edible, but what you want to do is peel this with a vegetable peeler and then snip it off. You can slice it or grill it, saute it, steam it, the same way you would an artichoke. Now, to get our artichokes ready for the stovetop or the steamer, what I want you to do for cooking, I'm going to cut the stem off there, and we're going to trim the bottom just a little bit off the bottom. And you see those will be tough to get with the peeler, so we'll cut those leaves off. Okay, and then we're simply going to use our vegetable peeler and peel it. Now, once you have them peeled, just simply cut them into rounds or medallions or whatever shapes you like. See that beautiful heart there? And we're gonna add them right to the steamer. These would be great in a saute, if you wanna make an artichoke dip. Wow, there's so many things you can do with this. Try to keep the sizes as uniform as possible so they will all cook about the same amount of time. If you like them thick, great. If you like them thin, which I tend to. Look at that. And that one, that very end, I think I'm going to discard that piece. We'll take them and add them to our steamer right now. Those little artichokes are looking good. Just going to add these right in. Let's prepare the artichoke. Now look at that, that's gorgeous. Again, we just trimmed off the bottom so it'll sit up nicely in the steamer. Then this one, really, I don't need to trim it because the thorns, the stickers aren't that bad. However, to make it pretty, a lot of people will just take and cut through the top. Okay, how that is, how gorgeous that is. We can also trim that bottom, just make it a little smoother, okay? There we go. Again, discard this portion for your mulch pile. And now, we'll take our kitchen scissors and just snip those ends. You could also, if you want, you could peel some of these outer leaves off. A lot of people will take and peel some of these away. I love the artichoke leaves. There's a lot of meat up under it. Well, I shouldn't say meat, but good eatings right there. You know, quote my friend Alton Brown from the Food Network days. Good eats, right? Right there. Just trim that off as much as you like or as little as you like. This one really does not need too much trimming. So let's take a look at our artichokes. Those small ones have been cooking for about 25 minutes or so. They are looking really nice. Let's take them out. And remember, grab your tongs. That beautiful. That small ones out. That olive oil helps to tenderize them a bit, tender them up. We're going to add the one we just trimmed. Those are the, they're the stems. They're looking quite nice. Going to add this in. And again, I like to spritz my vegetables with a little bit of olive oil and some salt. What that salt does is help to bring out the moisture when you're steaming vegetables, and it helps to get them softer. They steam deeper. We'll put that in. That's going to take maybe twice as long because it's that much larger to get that heart done well while you're steaming it. Okay, artichokes are looking really nice there, and I've got some of those little stems as well. But before we eat it, I thought I'd show for you or make for you my my favorite dip. It's just mayonnaise, okay? And please don't trip out, because what is mayonnaise? Oil and eggs, okay? I crack up a lot of times. I'll cook a lot with mayo. I just love the flavor of it. And then I'm going to use some Grey Poupon. Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? Dijon mustard, okay? About a third as much Dijon as we use the mayonnaise, okay? Don't go crazy with it because that might bite. I'm going to add some lemon juice, and these are Meyer lemons. It's a sweeter lemon. It came from my neighbor's yard. And then we'll top it off with a little bit of salt and pepper, okay? Voila. I love that lemon. Now, you can add chervil, you can add other herbs, tarragon, whatever your favorite herb to that. Garlic powder, garlic salt, all that to give it a little more flavor if you like. For me, this is enough. I'm just going to take a fork. I was actually looking for my small whisk, but I couldn't find it. This is a dip that we will use for the leaves. Let's show you how that. Okay, so take the artichoke and just peel the leaves off like that, and then we dip it. That little portion is where the good biting, the good eating of the artichoke leaf is. Let's taste these artichokes. The large ones are still cooking behind me, and if we have time before the episode is over, I'll show you what they look like. Okay, I've got my mayo Dijon mustard dip. That's that beautiful little heart that we got too. Wow. I hope you will try artichokes. They can be a bit intimidating, and I hope I've removed some of that intimidation by showing you how I work with them. It's pretty simple and easy, and so give it a shot. Now that's the heart. That's really tasty. There's that stem. We're gonna just dip that in the sauce as well. As I said, the stem is an extension of the heart, or should I say the heart is a culmination of the stem. Very tasty. Don't forget though to trim that stem like I was showing you, okay? Get that bitterness out of it. These are so good. This will be absolutely fabulous to make a artichoke dip with the stems. Okay, what do we got next for you on the show? Oh, let's try this. You see that golden part of the leaf there? It's so tender. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. From my yard, too. Is an artichoke plant. I had to move this from the backyard and put it in a temporary home in front because we're in the middle of major yard reconstruction. Now I've got a pot out there with my pruning shears, and that's the artichoke that we're going to harvest from today. Spinach, spinacho. It's an absolutely fabulous vegetable. Remember as a kid watching Popeye? I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eats me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. I didn't eat it as a kid, I'm gonna be honest. Mama would cook it, I said no thank you, you know. I was like Leave It to Beaver. Remember the episode of Leave It to Beaver where he moves the Brussels sprouts around? But I wouldn't eat spinach. Now I love spinach. Oh, fabulous. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite ways of cooking it. Ingredients for our sauteed spinach. The spinach, of course, spinacho, fresh spinach. These are the baby leaves. I've got garlic that I've diced, some diced onions, olive oil, salt, pepper, and just a little bit of butter I'm going to add to it. Let's saute. In the kitchen with spinach. On my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama. Spinach right there. Now, I wanted to point out one, it's a common sense thing. However, we should always emphasize these safety tips while in the kitchen. Handles sticking out like that. Whether you've got kids in the kitchen or just yourself, turn those handles in so you won't walk by and bump it and have that hot stuff spill over, burn you or someone in the nearby you in the kitchen. All right, let's make our spinach. First, turn that burner on. I'm going to add some olive oil. I love this little squeegee bottle, or what do you call this? Spray bottle. Lisa and I went wine tasting with Vincent Sulatanja a few weeks ago, and I got this. And it has become one of my favorite kitchen tools. Just squirts about, a quarter teaspoon or less. I use that just about every day now. So I'm going to let the oil get nice and hot. And the first thing I'm going to add will be my onions. Those diced onions. And I dare say that's about a quarter of a small to medium onion. Onions are looking good. Let them cook until they become translucent or longer. When the onions start to brown, that's when the sugar, the natural sugar, the caramelization, and as I said in a show earlier, we speak a lot about caramelization in cooking. And when that starts to happen, the caramelization, that means that those natural starches are converting from starch to sugar, which happens in the body. The body converts starch into energy, and that energy is taken into the bloodstream via sugar. You see how that's starting to happen there? Beautiful. Now I'm going to add my garlic. I think I'll add another spritz of olive oil as well. Give it a second to heat up. We're going to add our garlic, and I'm only going to let this cook for maybe 20 seconds or so, just a little bit. Move it around. We're going to add our spinach right here. Now, the spinach was washed. I'm not going to add any water to the dish. Whatever water was left from washing the spinach, we're going to put in our pan. And what I'm going to do here is add the lid right here, because I want to trap all that moisture in there to help speed up the cooking of our spinacho. Okay? And I'm going to shake it. I'm going to do my best little shake it. What's my girl's name, baby? Let's sing Shake It. Shake It Off. Taylor Swift. Wow. I just love that lady. Okay, I love her music, I should say. I don't love her. I love her work. Oh my Lord, this smells so good. Look how that color starts to pop up. Spinach only takes maybe, 3 to 5 minutes to get it really, really nice. I'm going to turn this over as much as I can. Again, saute means to jump in the pan, so we want this jumping in the pan. The lid goes back on. We're going to trap that moisture in to help wilt down that spinach. Oh, I had a couple pieces fly out of the pan. Let's get those back in there. Hey now. Look at that. See that moisture that it traps in there? All of that. We're going to keep that in. That helps to cook that spinach up. Now, I'm going to add just a little bit of butter. And I saw my marsala from making our chicken marsala. I'm going to add just a little bit of marsala vino, a little marsala wine. And that's really to help deglaze that pan and add a little more flavor to it. Gonna add some butter. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. And we're ready to turn this onto a plate and do some tasting. Notice how I raise it off the heat to regulate my heat. That's one of those easy rules. A little salt, a bit of pepper. Our spinacho is ready to plate up. Okay, let's bring our spinach to the workspace and serve it up. Got our trivets down so as not to burn our wooden cutting board. Same, remove those handles so you don't bump it and knock it off your workspace. Oh, beautiful, bonito spinacho, eh? All right, oh, I love this. Now, if you want to turn this into cream spinach, it's pretty easy to do. Quick, short way, a little cream and let it reduce with salt and pepper. One of the classic ways is to make a roux using flour and fat, cook it in the bottom, and then add the cream and allow it to thicken up. You can also add cheese to it, Parmesan or your favorite cheese, and that also gives it kind of a creamy effect. Me, I just love sauteed spinach with garlics with garlic and onions. Oh, great as a side dish with your steak. Love it with mashed potatoes. Ooh la la. And if you have any left over, what I'm going to do is make Lisa a spinach omelette. If I don't eat all of this, which I'm sure I will. All right, let's taste this spinach, see if it's as good as it smells. Beautiful. Remember, it's very healthy for us. Don't overcook that spinach because all those nutrients, remember, they stay in the closer to raw they are. Oh, the smell is great. Soft, buttery on the tongue. One of my favorite side dishes. Well, I said that about all my side dishes, don't I? Peace. Spread love. Baby, ready for an omelet? Yeah.